Well, hi everyone, welcome to Echo with Carmella-T. So I am making a cup of coffee, and while I'm making that, okay, I'm going to bring you along with me and on some art projects. And we have many. I have a number of them I want to share with you today, and I thought it was a perfect time to make a cup of coffee and bring you along with me. So, and you know, coffees are always, it's always a relaxing time to make a cup of coffee. I want to share something with you with this coffee. Check this out. So check this out. Look at this teeny tiny little creamer. And you know why I got it? I got it at the thrift shop, like 25 cents. Every time I use it, like I use half of it to pour the cream in, but guess what? The cream doesn't drip because it drips totally all over the place out of the carton. If you've ever, if you put cream in your coffee. So we have a lot of, well, I want to just say some art projects. I'm going to share with you the Kwandi inspired piece that I did finish. And I have some Christmas ornaments I want to share with you. And just a couple of ideas and just things. And I thought, what a perfect time to have a cup of coffee with my beautiful YouTube viewers and bring you along with me. So with that, I'm just going to put the cream away, and then we are going to get started. Now, I have my table is completely in complete disarray, but it is because I'm working. So as artists, we know that this happens. If it doesn't happen, then maybe you're just working on a very structured project. If you got your creativity hat on, you might end up getting a whole bunch of things out. Okay, I'm really excited because I did a little research, and I do want to share another YouTuber with you because, or her website, because I really liked her things. It inspired me, and some of these things I've made before. You know, you may say they're DIY hacks. Oh, people can do them, but you get your inspiration sometimes from certain people. You just do. And maybe it's their combo or whatever. So first I want to share with you the Kwandi piece that we were working on the other day. So it doesn't look too different, except that I put the little hanger on it. Hi, Rescue Candid. Hi. Hey, thanks for being here. Happy Sunday, guys. I hope you've had a good weekend, so you're ready for your Monday. And Mondays go fast. Don't let them bother you. Anyway, so, and that's the back of it. And so what I ended up doing is, many times you've seen me put the dowel through, like leave a space here and so, and then you can put a little dowel. Well, what you end up doing with the dowel anyway, and I mean, I do have them, yes. But what you end up doing is tying these on. So all I did was tie a couple of little knots on the twine, and I sewed those through. I just put a couple of stitches, and then I hid the tail. I hid the tail in the hem. So, and I did the same on this side. So it's just, I think people might like this even a little more. I ended up using the dowels because what they do is they keep this part of the project straight. Okay, it doesn't cave. There's no caving. But this is so much fabric on here that it's pretty firm. It's not going anywhere. So that is the Kawandi inspired piece we made together here. It's a little mini piece. This one I just want to put a couple of more rows on it, and then I'm going to put a backing. Okay, and you don't to put backings if you don't want to. This is what I want to share. Oh, the sewing needle book, a couple of ideas with you on that. I just want to share with you a couple of fabric combos and just show you that the complete difference in these is just amazing. Okay, so what I made, I was inspired by, I put Christmas tree here, and to be honest, I'm not remembering the exact Christmas tree. I want to say it might be one of the ones I made because I feel like everything I saw on her site was dynamite. And the name of it is Pillar Box of Blue. Okay, so she gives you patterns, she gives you step by step, and so you know what I ended up doing, and I got my measure here to show you what I did. Is I loved the Christmas tree that she was making. So I made a couple of the first Christmas tree I made, I'm not wild about it. I did visible stitching around the edge, and I believe I got the idea. This is what I was loving about the research I was doing, and I believe it was the pillar box, is she used a little stick, and then and I believe I don't know if she wrapped something around it, but I did. But to make just a little folklore tree ornament. Now what I ended up doing with this is I did the visible stitching and the boral stitching around the edges, and I added the little batting in between, and this is what I was seeing all over the place on YouTube. All the YouTubers making their little ornaments, they're using batting. So I happen to have, as you know, a whole bunch of used batting. So I like that idea, so I did that too, and then stitched around the edges, and then I went back and I did a machine stitch. So this was the very first one I did. It's cute, but I'm not crazy about it. So I'm going to put that over there, and I'm going to show you what I do like. So then I kind of started thinking a little bit more independently on what I think I'd like these to look like. And I wanted to use these wine corks, okay? So I stayed with the little tree idea, and the little machine, I used the free motion stitching. So I didn't use any hand stitching, but and I left an opening here, and I stuffed the trees just like they're doing. They're stuffing the trees, or they are putting batting. So this one's bent there a little bit, but so I stuffed it, and then I took the wine cork. This was my idea. It could be out there, but this part of it is my idea. So I took the wine cork and I just placed it before I sewed. I didn't sew this all the way. I just placed the wine cork in between the fabrics and just glued it, because this will glue to fabric if you use your fabric glue. And so if the opening is just glued onto the wine cork. And then I decorated the wine cork. You can see here, that's the bottom of the wine cork. I decorated it with the fabrics, just different fabrics, to just make a cutesy little ornament. So yes, I attribute my inspiration of these adorable little trees to Pillar Box of Blue. So the only part I did some want to say amending, is the little wine cork. So that's another way to use a wine cork. Oh, I know what she used. Hold on. This is why I got them out. Check this out. Okay, so check this out. I want to show you something. But look, okay, see how cute that is? This is the tool, by the way, that we got the other day at the thrift shop. That's what that is. But check this out. This is what she was doing. This lady on Pillar Box Blue. She took one of these. Here. She took one of these spools and she put the tree in it. That is super cute. Okay, and that's where I started to think, well, wait a minute, I could use the wine corks, you know what I mean, instead of the spools. But look, I got all these spools from the thrift shop, like a couple years ago, I think, or they were gifted to me, one or the other. But a lot of them don't have much thread on the spool, like this one. Okay, you can see. So you can leave the threads on when they're not that much, but you can use your spools, yes, to put the little Christmas tree. And look, this is what I used. I love it when I can use things that are around me. This is. I do like the Christmas tree in the little spool better. So what you would do is just decorate the spool, okay? And, but I gained inspiration from that to go ahead and, I was just looking for some fabric to put, but you can also put twine around the spool. I just want to see what this looks like. Yeah, I mean, that would make the stand prettier than the tree, but you get my drift. This would go cutesy. Again, I do like this buffalo plaid. That would go cutesy with that tree too. Okay. So anyway, I'm psyched. I mean, I'm just psyched. You know, just because the spool is so similar looking to the wine corks, that's how I got the idea to use them. Now, like I said, the only difference I did, so she used a stick, okay, in the spool, which is precious, just precious. And I'm using the wine cork and just leaving an opening and just gluing that in between the fabrics. So I want to make a bunch of these. Now, these are my first few, so I'm going to be honest, I think they're cute, but they can be much better. So, because what I want to do is I love this blue. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, I do. I love the blue. Now, when I sewed this with the machine, you want to slow down with your sewing. Make sure if you have, I don't want to say an industrial needle. You don't need an industrial needle on your machine sewing, but I would use the denim needle, a needle for denim, to go through the batten, okay, the fill. So anyway, I like those because they do stand up. So I think they're really cutesy. What I have to get used to with this is stuffing them, and or if I'm going to use batting. Okay, this I put the batting in between the fabric, and I'm not liking it. You see how much thicker this is? I like stuffing them better. And all I did is when I cut out the pieces, I just machine sewed them first, of course. This one I didn't. I hand sewed all three fabrics, the batten and the two fabrics, and I didn't like the process at all. So, okay, so we got that. Now, this basket, okay, you see, it's got a bunch of sticks in it. So these are the type of sticks. Just really picked up off the ground, and I washed them a while ago. Those are the type that I'm using to put in between this fabric. And the sticks are glued. You glue them in, and then you can glue a fabric around the stick. Okay, so that's how I did those. And then, so then I went ahead and made a few things on my own, and I'm going to show you what I made. Thank you for having a cup of coffee with me, by the way, today, everyone. So I went ahead, oh, and I'll give you the measures here. I was just looking for the little cutout so I can share this with you. And I guess I moved them to the other side. Yeah. Oh no, here they are. Okay. So this is a cutout. This is the cutout for the Christmas tree. All I did was use a little coffee box. Okay, and just drew the tree. I used that size. And so the tree comes out to, let's see, it's almost 5 inches in length, very close. And then the widest part of it is about 3.5. So it's small. And I feel like this is definitely a good size. It's fine. And you just want to leave that opening, right smack in the middle. And you can mark the card or mark your fabric. And just give it, start down here and just go straight around once or twice, whatever you want. The second thing I made is this, and I'll show you the cutout, is a little mitten. Now, I do like this mitten. I'm going to be honest. I think it came out, this is the first one I made. And all I did, I kind of did it in a couple of steps. And I'm not crazy about the amount of time it took me, because this is so little. I could have needle felted. Actually, I should needle felt. I will needle felt some mittens. But I did I had made the cuff here as part of the buffalo plaid fabric, so as one. And then I took a separate piece of fabric to just decorate the cuff, okay? And all I'm going to do with this is I will be just putting a little string through it to make it a little ornament. So I'll probably make a bunch more of these because I do like the way this looks. So this came out really cutesy. Now wait till you see what I made. I love this. This is mine. There's probably some stuff out there like it, I'm sure, but this is one I did not find on research. So check this out. You know the little, what we were calling little bases for the mushrooms that I had my class make? So I crocheted these little bases, and I'm like, oh my God, they look like little nests. And I was thinking I'd love to make a nest for an ornament, but guess what? This is it, right here. And you know what this is? It's a wine cork. So I wrapped the wine cork in fabric, just glued it on. The little nest that I had crocheted, or I was using it as what they call a base. And then, so I glued that on, and I made these teeny tiny little needle felted eggs that are inside, okay? So those are inside, and I'm going back and forth. Should I glue the eggs inside the little nest? I love this. So what I want to do with this is put a little bow around it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm back and forth right now on the little loop, the little string, and wondering to myself if I should just leave it as the type of ornament that just kind of stands, you know, because it is, let me put it over here, because it is super cute. Oh, you can't see it there, but it is super cute. Here, I'm going to put this down so you can actually see it better. There. So, yeah, now you can see it. But that can stand as an ornament for Christmas. But okay, if I do the loop, what I'm going to do is just string it through the nest. Okay, so it just kind of comes up. Am I nervous that the nest is going to fall off because it's glued on? No, I'm not. Now if I'm nervous about that, the other thing I could do is glue a piece of fabric underneath the nest and then just kind of fold it a couple of times and then just glue that and just grab that. But it would be the same idea because that would also be glued. But no, I think this is fine. And the little mitten came out, I think, really cute. So I think that's fine. And yes, and I do like this little tree. So, okay, so that a couple of things there I wanted to share with you. Now I'm going to put this back up because I just want to share with you one more thing. And as you know, I got such a variety of fabric the other day, but I just want to show this to you for a moment. Now, this, as you know, is a little sewer's book. Okay, so I just started, I said, you know what, let me get on there and just share these little ornaments before I go too far, because this is the time of year you want to start making your ornaments. And there's so many beautiful artisans out there sharing how they do this. So I just thought I'd jump on the bandwagon. By the way, the size of it's a simple little cardboard. I just drew a picture of a mitten. That's all I did. And it's about 3.5 inches long. And then the widest part of it is 2.5. So that's how small all of these little ornaments are. But they're just so darn cute. They're really cute. So when I do these ornaments, if I don't like the process, you know, for example, if it just seems to me that it's taken me way longer to make it than or if I'm trying to get that one out there. I'm not enjoying the process. I don't make them. I won't make them. But if I enjoy the process, yes, I will make a bunch of them for the art and craft fairs. So I think of these, I gotta tell you, I do like this. The only drawback with this particular ornament is that you've got to have spools, you know, and you can do the same thing here. You can dig out the center of a wine cork. Okay, you see where the drill or whatever they used to open it was put. You can use that as a starting mark. You can use this. People take these wine corks and they dig them out and they actually put sometimes real plants and moss in them and put little magnets on them and keep them on the refrigerator. So you can do that, or you can put little fake plants in there. I really like that idea too. I'm gonna be honest, I love that. I haven't done it, so I will find who's doing it out there and we'll reference them. And then we'll do that. So Okay, so let me move these. I'm gonna move these for a moment and put those over there. But I'm loving the nest and the nest, the mitten, and the tree. Yes, I will probably make a variety of those, and I'll come back and share. This, I do have an idea for the spool. And just a couple of thoughts on that. So I'll come back on that in another video. So I'm going to put this down because I want to show you these fabrics I got the other day. Okay. Oh, you can hear the birds. Now, the only reason they're chirping like a lot right now is because we have work being done on the roof. And it's, for work being done on the roof, it's relatively quiet, to be honest. You're not really noticing. They notice it because they're noticing, like, you know, they notice everything, right? Okay, so this fabric right here is absolutely perfect. It's almost really the perfect size. Look, if I put this, if I'm just going to take one of these, if I put this right up against that, it's the same width and everything. I mean, look, it just is. It's perfect. So now, and I'm looking at this part, like it can fold, so that's really cutesy. You could leave the beautiful part about this fabric is the design, is that it's almost giving you markers. You know what I mean? I love fabrics like that. So so what I'm going to do is simply using that as a guide right now. I'm gonna cut it from here. I really like this flower to show, so I'm gonna kind of go over this way, over here. I'm gonna actually make it just a tad longer, and I may fold in some of the sides, I don't know. But I'm just showing you, if you're starting or you're making your little sewer's needle book, this is what I do. I mean, I do take the fabrics and I do notice the patterns pretty quick. So this is about 9 inches, okay, in width, and then in length and height there it's about 4. So I'm gonna make 2 of those. I want 2 of those. And I'm loving the brightness of it. So, I mean, I could have just folded it in half and cut it, right? But when you get these little side pieces, these are wonderful for your Boro Sashiko inspired projects or other projects. So there's a couple things you can do. You can put a piece of flannel in between this and this, okay, and I just kind of like to turn it and figure out what the inside is going to look like. This will be the inside here. Now the other thing you could do, I like this for the outside. You see how bright, you see how beautiful that is just all by itself. But let me go get some flannel. And what I'm going to do, just a little different with this piece, is instead of doing my Boro Sashiko stitching around, I'm going to free-form stitch this, okay? And that's how I'm going to make this one today. But I have, oh, the other thing I have, I did want to share this with you. This fabric is of curtain fabric, so it's kind of thick. And you know what? I really like that. Now, it has a hem here, but because it's thick, it's a nice thick cotton, medium weight to heavy cotton. This would be great also to use as batting. And I think that's what I'd like to do with this particular piece today. Okay, and I'm just showing you how I'm starting it because um, the thing of it is this heavy cotton. It almost works better than the batting in a lot of ways because the batting, depending what you have, it can be I don't know what to say, cushiony, which I'm not crazy about the cushiony thing. I like it to be, if I'm trying to get a, let me put it this way, if I'm trying to get something that's more of a book form, like a meditative journal, this fabric would actually be perfect for a meditative journal. And so I'm going to make one of those two today. This would also, so we're going to lay that out next. But let me put this over here. I hope you're all having a beautiful day, by the way. It's a really, really great time to have a cup of coffee this time of day. Okay, so I just, as you know, I just simply put it up against that and just very non-traditional way, just kind of cut it straight along. And the worst thing I'm doing right now is I'm working on a fabric tablecloth, which I should have taken off. And I am going to pin this because I want to be able to hold it up. But this, to me, and yes, it has a little bit of a design, but it's not the kind of design I really, am crazy about, that I really, really like or anything. I don't. It's an okay design, and it's a little folklore, which might be perfect for the little folklore dolls that I'm going to make next. And I don't have any major projects right now, which I'm really, really happy about. I was not on here yesterday, Saturday, which on this channel, which I normally would have been on, but I was editing my book. And when I moved, I was nearly done with that. And I moved and everything went on hold. So it's the second part of the Bridge of Life poetry book, okay? So, all right, so I have that, and I'm just going to, again, piece these together. I'll put this back down. I'm going to piece them together the way I want them. So this will be on the inside, and this piece, it's okay that it has decoration, that's fine. This is going to be on the outside. No, it was the other way around, so that's all right. Oh, that is actually how I want it, right like that. Yes, I want this to be dominant on the outside. So what I'm just going to do for a moment is I am going to pin these, because in a little while I'm going to go stitch them at my machine. So I'm just going to put these over here, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to put together, and I really like the sizing of this, is I want to put together a meditative journal. So first of all, let me just tell you, what's going to go in the middle of this is going to be very much like what we just did in this little book. Okay, it's going to be different sizes or the same sizes with pieces that are felt or flannel or super soft 100% cotton, so the needles can go in, and I might add a couple of little pockets, okay? So that's what this one is going to be, similar in structure to this one. The only difference is, oh, and the other thing is I'm going to put this with it like this, because I may add little ribbons like this, and I may add like this tulle. Okay, so I just want to show you that, because once you start putting them with your project, that's when you start to use them. And I know that sounds very like, oh my God, yeah. But the thing of it is, if you don't pick them up, cut them, and actually apply them, you probably just look at them in the pile and say, oh, I don't think that's going to go. But you'll know if you put them against the fabrics, okay? This one I probably use as a bow, but I gotta tell you, sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't want to cover up a beautiful, beautiful piece like that. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put a couple of fabrics like that and put this to the side. Now, I want to make a meditative journal. Now, with the meditative journal, if I could do it, if I can do this, I would like to use more of the cottons and organics, or if I can. But I'm already picking up a piece that I feel would align with the vibe that I want. And it is not, I don't believe this is 100% silk. I could be wrong, okay, because there's no tag on it or anything. And these pieces, it seemed as though these pieces came from the lady in the thrift shop, and I thought they came from some kind of a bulk manufacturing of bridal costumes or something like that, which could put this in the area of silk, but I don't know. So, but I'm loving this right off the bat, okay? I'm loving this right off the bat. These two, I really like that together so far. Now, I'm going to pick up a few here. I like this too. I like the flowers on that. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to get some pieces together that it seems to be for the season, a meditative journal. I don't know, that's just how it's working out. I'm not planning this or anything in particular like that. But I'm grabbing these pieces, and they are lovely. And, you know, I do keep coming back to this. Now, why am I grabbing so many? I'll tell you why. Because when you make a junk journal or a meditative journal, you're going to have, it's not going to be like your little sewing journal. It is not. Because this is, you're going to be putting your sewing needles in here. And with your meditative journal, you may put a note. You may put an earring that was special to you and you lost part of it, or a necklace. You may put a button from your favorite sweater, you know, whatever that you stopped wearing. Things like this, you know, that are sentimental. So what you want to, in my opinion, what you want to do is plan for it to be something that is accessible for you to open up and put your little notes in, or little pieces. Maybe you're an artist, a fabric artist, and you want to put your little special fabrics in there, whatever, like that. How it's going to be constructed, I really do want to use the freeform stitching. I can see me using the Boro Sashiko and Kawandi inspired visible stitching, Sashiko stitching in the pages, okay? Yes, in the pages. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do is figure out, I'm thinking I want a cover. I have a lot of denim, okay, I just do. I have a lot of denim. This is a nice, really nice, this fabric, or this type of fabric, which is a medium weight cotton, is perfect for you to create a cover, or even with this sewn on to this with a batting in between will make it nice and thick. So you kind of want to think like that. You want to make the cover substantial, basically. So now I'm going to tell you too, this is not 100% cotton. Look, that's stretching, okay? So much of the jeans now have the stretchy materials. So, but the thing of it is, it's perfect for, this is perfect to have to start a journal. It just is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it to about here. So that's, I'll tell you how long that's going to be about. Whoops. That is going to be about, yeah, about 9. That's going to be about 9. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can cut it afterwards at the seam. I'm just thinking how I made my coin bags. You can cut it at the seam, or you can leave it like this and say, you know what, this is a nice size journal. Okay, so you can cut it here, and then kind of just do your stitching and then fold it over. Or you can use it, you can make it as a pocket journal if you want. Okay, so the way I did my coin bags, and that's kind of how I'm thinking here, is I would like to be able to fold this over. So there's a couple different ways. I'm going to cut this here, and I'm just going to kind of go by how I do my coin bags typically, and basically I'm going to cut this again here. Okay, so I can actually get 2 out of this if I want. So I can go like this and like this. So that would be very small if I did, but that's a lovely at the same time. That would be a very nice, you can tie that type of journal, or you can, this would have to be ironed. Okay, now, or this right here can be taken off, and I kind of feel like I want to take that seam off, and I do use the seams. I sew them on to other. Okay, so you can fold it kind of just like once like that, and this is a really good size. This is I'll tell you what this is. It's the 9 probably. Yeah, it's still 9, a little bit under 9. And then the width of it is also about 9, almost 10. Okay, so I mean that's pretty good. So for this to be a cover would be very nice. This would be nice. Now you could cut it down even a little more if you wanted, but this, I'm almost thinking that, but I kind of like it like that, to be honest, just because it just makes it unique. So okay, so with that, now I have all of these fabrics, and I'm like, okay, I can tell you right off the bat, I want this one on the cover. So, and I just want it like to be a decorative part of the cover. I want it to be part of a Boro Sashiko independent stacking design. So what the heck does that even mean? It means that the stacking is just, I'll show you what it is. it's taking multiple fabrics and just making an independent design. Let's say, for example, you envision that there's a rip on this somewhere. So you are taking your fabric and you are just mending. You're mending, okay? And that's basically, this changes the whole vibe. This fabric changes the entire vibe here. And I'm not sure that I'm liking, I guess it's okay. Maybe not too much of that. Now the thing is, when you're designing on, like, on the video, it's completely different when you're designing by yourself. Because I can be honest with you, I would probably take this apart maybe 10 times. Now, maybe not. You know, maybe I just do it once. But it depends on, I love this right here. This is just gorgeous, I'm saying. And that right there. Now, this is the thing about creativity, okay? You could very easily, this is the thing, you don't want to put yourself ever in a corner with creativity and say, this is the perfect way to do it, this is how I'm doing it, and I'm not talking about a pattern, I'm just talking about limiting yourself to changing your mind as you go along. Because if you want to do that, do it. And because that's your creativity speaking to you. So anyway, I really love this just the way it is. I'm going to be honest. I love that. And as a matter of fact, I don't really want to go any farther with that this moment. I just actually do want to do some Boreal Sashiko here. I do want to create this with some hand stitching. And yes, I'll be coming back around with my freeform machine stitching. But, so I just want to, now the other thing is, this is going to all be on a fold, which is okay. It's fine. The other thing I always have the freedom to do is I have the freedom, if I want, to just add another pocket, take the other side of that, and just make it actually larger. But I was kind of liking the, let me just pin these so they don't move. I was liking the idea of just kind of having it like a wallet type deal. Okay, now I'm working on fabric, which I should not be doing. Hold on. So I'm going to just kind of move that out of our way. There we go. And I'm going to do a little sashiko stitching here. And I'll keep this down so you can see. I'm just grabbing a few. Now this needle is not huge, and I want to be careful because I'm using this is a very thin fabric right here, and so is the sweater. And then after I get these sewn on, then I'll just give you a really quick idea of how I'm going to construct the inside of it, so far as I think right now. Okay. This is beautiful, actually. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know. I mean, this could be a wall piece too. But no, I mean, no, the meditative journals, to me, in my opinion, aesthetically, if they speak to you, right, and they create calmness within you, that's like, then that's what you want, because it's so hard to find that calm nowadays. I mean, especially if you're working, you're out there in the workforce and you you know, you have family and you've got a lot going on, it's a little easier when you're like me, you're retired and you've got a little less going on, to be honest. Okay, I'm loving this. Now with Sashiko, as I was had told you, showed you, anyway, in a few other videos, you can take the stitches and go right past, and I kind of want to do that. You go right past your patches. What's the point of that? Well, in the old day, 1400s or whatever it was, they did that simply for reinforcement of the fabric. Maybe the fabric was a little thinner past that. So, but you can simply do this for adornment at this point. And I'm just going to go up here. I just love this. I don't know, I just do. So it's the aesthetics of the greens. I didn't expect to go with all greens. I'm going to pull this down. Okay, and this little piece over here, it keeps folding under. I can either cut it or use that. So let me just turn this. You notice I'm turning it every single time I'm stitching. Okay, I'm turning it so it's facing me. Okay, so I can see my stitches really well, and I can handle my fabrics really well. So I just went through a couple of fabrics there, and now you notice what's happening. Look, there's a couple things. I just love this. Seriously. Okay, look at the fibers pulling off from the silky. So you see how I stitched kind of with a pretty good margin. So that was really wise, because that kind of is adhering the fabric so that it's not going to rip easily. Now what I'm going to do here is I should use the picking scissors for this. I'm just going to trim that, but you know what? I love the fraying. Fraying is an inherent part of my work, because I will not use the fabric glue or take means to try to get rid of it. I just simply use it. So this is going through a little seam of the cotton. So anyway, I'm coming in the back here, and I'm just weaving the tail through the little stitches, and the just kind of making it so it can't work its way out easily. Some traditionally ancient methods would leave the tail, and because it will naturally, as you have lots of stitches, will lock into those stitches automatically. So I just kind of wanted to get this started with you. So let me just see something here. I just want to, if I do this and use this as kind of like a little flap, that's kind of nice. But let me just look at this for a minute. So I just kind of want to play around with folding it, and I'm almost wondering if I ended up, I mean, I do like this, but look, I think what I'm going to do with this piece, this is how it happens sometimes. This is how it happens. It happens. This is an adorable wall piece. I'm thinking I want a meditative journal. Sometimes this is the process. It just is. I don't think this is the right size. for meditative journal, but for meditative piece, this is precious. Like the whole piece, because if I fold that for journal, we're losing a lot of we're losing it. You see what I'm saying? We're losing the vibe. It's part of creativity. So what I'm going to do is, as I begin my process, my journey of creating, there's someone out there who loves meditation projects. I know you do. Is a particular viewer. She is a viewer who said, hey, Carmella, can you please do meditative this and meditative that? She did. So she's out there. Now I just want to sew, while we're together, let me just sew on the, yeah, I'll use the smaller, I'm going to use smaller needle because we're going to sew on the sweater part of it. And so it's like, yeah, welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T, where creativity will get you every time. So let's put this down. Okay, so this is the sweater part of it. And we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you, when I put this piece on, it changes the whole vibe. I don't care for it at all. So I'm taking that off because a lot of times with a meditative piece, just the earthen tones just kind of touching upon each other here. Now you notice I'm just kind of really speak volumes. Okay, so this actually could be sewn and used as a dowel. That could be. Okay, I'll figure that out later. But this piece, you see me sewing it. You see how far down I started? I'm leaving a nice margin because this is a very delicate piece of fabric. So we're being super careful here. And yes, I will come back around and sew the edges. Maybe I'll whip stitch them. Maybe I'll do a nice little blanket stitch. Or maybe I'll just do a nice little running stitch up against the edges. Okay, so let me take this off. And I'm just loving this. Now what I'm feeling like too as I'm going along is I may even trim this here. So this is how it happens. This is how things get sometimes created. You start out with one thing and you end up with another. Hey, it happened to Vincent van Gogh. That's how he ended up painting the way he painted, is he kept trying. Just remember that. He kept trying to do what he was being taught in class to do, and he couldn't do it, so he did what he wanted to do, and he ended up finding his genius. So don't ever forget that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to go all around this beautiful piece here. And I'm not using the red necessarily because of holiday or any of that. I just used the red because it just jumped out at me a little bit more. But what a lovely meditative piece this is coming up. Now, I have to tell you, for those of you who don't know, I made a number of pieces of a Buddha, and someone bought my protocol, my piece that I was never going to sell. Someone asked me, and they bought it, and they wanted to use it for meditation. And I got such good vibes from the person. I'm like, absolutely, it's yours. I've had it long enough. I made 3 pieces like it. I know exactly how to make it. It was one of my little creations, and I'm going to make more. And because I think the meditative pieces are super important nowadays. I do, people. If it's difficult for you to meditate or reflect upon yourself on how to improve yourself, just use something like, yes, a meditative wall piece or something else. So, okay, now I think I'm going to change colors on this also, but I'm going to go this far down on this piece. Okay, and I'm loving this. And I'm going to go in the back. And again, I'm just going to weave the tail so that it, I got to be honest with you, I really didn't expect to do any Boar Road today. But this is how it happens. It just jumped out at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, those textiles go together so beautifully. Yeah, this is going to be a wall piece. But all in all, let me just say that you can take a piece that maybe it was going to be a meditative journal or a wall piece or whatever. You can take a piece of fabric, you can manipulate it into what you want it to be. Okay, so once you start your design, if it ends up that yes, you want to trim the sides and this and that and make it a wall piece, go for it. Because if you are compelled to do that, then that's what it's meant to be. And that's the energy of the design that you created that's reflecting your inner self. Your inner being is speaking to you through the fabric, through the colors, through the design. So anyway, with that, I hope that you got some inspired and creativity, and I hope that you love these little ornaments that we started out with today, and I think they're just precious. And so yeah, check out the what's the name of it? The Pillar Box Blue on YouTube, and get some more ideas. So with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful Sunday. I thank you so much for being with me. You really make my day. I love having a cup of coffee with you. And when I finish this particular piece, I will come back on and share it. And sometimes less is more and the simplistic is better. But I'm going to reattempt to do a meditative journal piece. And hopefully it doesn't turn into another wall piece. So with that, you have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. And I send you love and light.